my shirt, all pumpkin everything, because today I'm going to try to make an almost vegan pumpkin pie. Not entirely because I'm using eggs, but baby steps. So why don't we go see how it turns out, huh? So gently stab your pie crust so that it doesn't go all the way through. You get up on the sides. And I'm using this Wholly Wholesome organic pie shells, and they are actually completely vegan, and they're in the freezer section at Fresh Market. If you don't have a Fresh Market, I'm sure you can find them in other places. And now let this sit aside, letting it thaw a bit. First, I'm going to take this organic pumpkin, go ahead and open it up, pour all of it into your vessel of choice. It's so orange, I love the orange color. This is just 100% organic pumpkin puree. There's nothing added. This isn't a mix of any kind. Once you have your pumpkin puree in, you're going to add 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, none other. Mix the pumpkin with the pie spices together. Now I am using instructions from the can. I'm just showing you guys how to do it, and this recipe will not be completely vegan because I am making this for other people and it's my first time trying to make one going in the direction of veganism, but it will be dairy-free. The only animal product is 100% cruelty-free, free-range eggs. So once the pumpkin and the spices are all mixed up, we move on. Next, you're gonna use a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. Dump that right in. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. Go ahead and mix those two things in. Now we're gonna set this aside. In a separate container, you're going to want to crack open 2 eggs and beat them slightly. Ooh, you don't see that. Make sure you wash your hands thoroughly after touching eggs, of course. I'm just going to take a fork, break the yolk, beat it slightly. Just kind of incorporate it. I did see a recipe where you substitute arrowroot or cornstarch or some kind of powder flour for eggs, but like I said, I was a little shy trying something brand new to serve to people. Maybe next pie. Okay. Now we're just going to add that to the rest of our mixture and incorporate it. Now this is going to be alarmingly soupy. That's just kind of how pumpkin pie is. The recipe calls for 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. I am going to substitute it for soy milk. So I'm going to use 8 ounces of unsweetened plain organic soy milk. And I am experimenting a little bit as I go. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of flour as a stabilizer. Soy milk is much less protein dense than the regular milk, so you have to add a little bit of flour to get the right consistency. As you're going along and you're mixing it and cooking things up, if you see that it is too soupy, which is very hard to gauge with pumpkin pie because every time I make it I think it's pure liquid and that it will never work, and it always just magically sets somehow. Next, we're going to take this Truvia brown sugar blend. Absolutely love this stuff. You're gonna add a 1/4 cup. Every time I cook with this, I literally just want to stand here and eat it. And I just dropped it all over the counter, so that's not part of the tutorial. Incorporate your 1/4 cup packed. Then you're gonna want to add a 1/2 cup, so I'm using my 1/4 cup measuring and adding a 1/2 cup of stevia. Now it is looking pretty thin, so I'm gonna go ahead and add another tablespoon of that flour. Well, that's everything for the pie, so now we're going to carefully pour it into our crust. Don't overfill it. A little bit more. How beautiful. Go ahead and take a spoon, and if there's any flour lumps that didn't get quite incorporated since we just hand mixed it, go ahead and break those up. I always bake a little side ramekin so that I can taste my creation without having to cut the pretty pie. You're going to want to very carefully place it in the oven at 425 degrees for 15 minutes. Alright gang, hi, you can kind of see my reflection. So, once it beeps at you in the most annoying fashion, you stop it, and you're going to turn the temperature down. If you figure out how to work your own oven. You turn your temperature down to, 350, and then put it on for 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to go with 35, and I have my little ramekin in here of my tester, and that's going to come out much sooner because it's obviously much thinner than this. So, we just gotta wait on that now. Go have fun. Do something for 30 minutes. Possibilities are endless in 30 minutes. Read a book, take a shower, go find a dog and pet it. Don't lose your hand to the dog if it's a strange dog. Pick a nice one. You know, whatever. Look at her go. Woo! Hey guys, on my pumpkin pie journey, I just got a little bite out of the ramekin, and I'm gonna see how it turned out because I've never made it this way before. It tastes perfect. Oh, yay. Oh, I don't think that was quite done yet. I hope it killed any germs in it. Whoops. But wow, it tastes really good. It's a little less set than if you used milk, I think, but it tastes pretty good, and the full pie is looking really pretty. Okay guys, here is my finished product. It's not as pretty as I hoped just because the edges look a little bit burned, which is funny because it doesn't actually seem to be. It just browned a lot. And what you need to do next is just let it sit in the fridge overnight. Of course, let it cool 120%. I usually put a paper towel right on top and then cover it with saran wrap and let it sit in the fridge overnight and use some kind of dairy-free. I have almond milk whipped cream. I'll show you that in a second. And there you have it. A dairy-free pumpkin pie. I had some of the little taster. I think it tastes better than how it normally tastes even. Just like a normal pumpkin pie. It does taste a little more like it's not quite done, but I read online that it's going to be that way. It is done. It's just going to taste a little less set than it would. And of course, once you have it in the fridge overnight, it'll set a lot more. So enjoy this super extended shot of my pie.